Hello, my dear brothers and sisters.
Right behind, if possible.
Now we're good? No.
You're better off with this, yeah? Oh, I can take this one, yeah? Okay.
Maybe I should stand up better.
No, if you're comfortable with sitting.
First thing, I thank you for the organizers here for inviting me and give me the opportunity to bring out the real Torah view, the real Jewish view about Zionism and the state of Israel. Many people are wondering, Jewish rabbis against the state of Israel, Jewish rabbis coming to support Palestinians. How can that be? How can that happen? Firstly, in today's day, it's not a question. When we see what's going on in Gaza, it's unbelievable. It's already over 2 years in the whole world is completely quiet. It's impossible what we see there. You know, in this country, we are not allowed to give anyone names. We are not allowed to label anyone with any names. However, what I can say, that these pictures, what we're seeing in the videos, what we're seeing from Gaza, we didn't saw it in the last 8 years. The last time we saw pictures like that, it was under the Nazis. Again, I didn't label anyone with names, it's not legal. But this is true, this is a true fact. Pictures what we're seeing in Gaza, killing so many innocent people, men, women, and children without arms, children without eyes, it's crazy, it's really crazy. We just saw that under the Nazis in Poland for 80 years ago. Today is not a question why we are against Israel. Everybody who is a human being, he said, just God in his heart is against the state of Israel and all the deeds, what they're doing. In a special shameful, it's for us, for Jewish people. But all these have been done in the name of the Jewish people. It's done in the name of the Torah. It's done in the name of God, completely falsely. I will try to explain. Jewish rabbis are against the state of Israel since his creation. And much earlier before, since the creation of the idea of Zionism for 130 years, all the Jewish rabbis in Russia, in Poland, in Hungary, all over the world were strongly opposing the state of Israel. Not before the state, against Zionism, and later on the state of Israel. And I will try to explain it from the root, from the beginning. You will understand it better. We have to understand what is Judaism and what is Zionism. I will not keep you time too long. I will try to make it short. And I give the opportunity for my colleague, Rabbi Sofer. He's a very good historian. And he himself his origin is from Iraq. And he knows a good history of the Jewish life in all Muslim countries. He will speak of it later. By the way, he's speaking a fluent Arabic for these people who understand Arabic. I can ask him any questions in Arabic. I'm sorry. In English, it's not my best language. However, we have to come back to the point to understand firstly what is Judaism, what is Zionism. Judaism is not a race. Judaism is not a nationality. Judaism is a pure religion. God gave the Torah in the Mount Sinai for 3,500 years ago for Jewish people and command them to keep all these Jewish laws, 613 laws. Judaism has nothing to do with any nationality, with any race. I'm speaking here in a mosque for Muslim people, they will understand it much better. What makes a Muslim for a Muslim? He has to live in Eastern countries. Did he have to speak Arabic? Did he have to, I don't know what, no, they have to believe in the Muslim principles. If somebody believes in the principles, then he is a Muslim. He can be white, he can be black, he can be Chinese, he can be Japanese, no difference. As long as he believes in the Muslim principles, he is considered as a Muslim. If somebody don't believe in the Muslim principles, he is not a Muslim. And he will tell you how you can say that. I'm already a Muslim for 20 generations. You will ask him again, you are a believer or you're not? He will say no. Then he will say, I'm sorry, you are not a Muslim. That's all. And if somebody converts to Islam, he's the same Muslim as you the next day. Because Islam is a religion. It hasn't got nothing to do with a nationality. There could be a Muslim with a country, there could be Muslims without a country. You are all Muslims, you're living in England, it's not a Muslim country. You are the same Muslims as the people living in Iraq, or Iran, I don't know, in all the Muslim countries. Because Islam is a religion. It hasn't got nothing to do with a nationality. The same thing is Judaism. Judaism is a religion. It has nothing to do with a nationality. This is a pure religion. If you believe in the Jewish religion, you are Jewish. If not, you are not considered as a Jew. And this is not my words, this is the words of Maimonides. He was for about 900 years ago. I believe my colleagues will speak more about him. And I think he was the person doctor of Sultan
الناس يوسف صلاح الدين الأيوبي. He was the doctor and the personal advisor to Al-Khalif Al-Azim Al-Sultan Al-Nasr Yusuf Salah ad-Din Al-Ayyubi, the one, the great sultan who freed Palestine from the cursed crusaders that controlled Palestine for 88 years. When he freed Palestine, he allowed the Jews to come back under his jurisdiction, and his advisor, personal doctor, he asked him this, and he right away, one of the first things that he signed, a decree to bring back the Jews to Palestine. For 88 years, there was not one Jew in Palestine. They all were murdered by the Crusaders, together with the Muslims. When the Muslims freed Palestine, they invited back the Jews. That's what it is.
But Maimonides was one of our greatest leaders. He put down the 13 principles of Judaism, and he finished it that everybody who is clear in these 13 principles is considered as a Jew. Everybody who not is not considered as a Jew. So this is his words. This makes a Jew for a Jew. There can be Jewish people with a country. There can be without a country. A country is not a part of the Jewish religion at all. This is the Jewish belief, and this is the Jewish religion. Zionism, on the other hand, they are non-believers. The founder of Zionism was Theodor Herzl from Vienna, Austria. He was completely a secular person. He don't believe in God. He don't believe in the Torah. He even didn't make a circumcision for his own child, and he was proud of it. A circumcision, really, this is something what even secular Jews still keeping. They're keeping two things. Yom Kippur, if everybody knows the date, and the circumcision. But he didn't make a circumcision. He was proud of that. He was a non-believer. He had a different look on Judaism, and he said, why we are in exile? Why is staying in exile so long? He don't believe in the religion what unites the Jewish people, like the religion unites the Muslim people. The same thing, the religion unites the Jewish people. He don't believe it. He don't believe in any God, in any Torah. So what will unite the Jewish people? He say the only thing what can unite the Jewish people, we will make our own country. So he took the concept of Judaism, emptying out the holiness, emptying out of the religion, emptying out of the believing God, and fill it in with nationalistic aspirations, with nationalistic achievements, with anti-nationalistic achievements. That is what Zionism did to the religion, to the Jewish religion. The Zionists are the greatest enemies of the Jewish people. I can tell you, if somebody will take away your country, he's your greatest enemy. He's your occupier. He took away your country. But if somebody will take away, let's say, for example, the Muslim religion, let's say if somebody will have the power to confuse people and to take the Muslim religion, emptying out of the belief, emptying out the God, emptying out everything of that, in saying, if you want to be a Muslim, you have to have a strong country, a Muslim country, speaking Arabic, serve in the army, in something, and so on and so on. And let's say if he succeeds to take over 60, 70, 80% of the Muslim world by emptying out the religion of the connection to God, of the believing in God, and fill it in with some empty nationalistic movements, and he will succeed to take away you children and you grandchildren from God, there will be much, much, much more your enemy, your greatest enemy. This is exactly what the Zionists done with the Jewish people. They uproot our children. They uproot 80% of the Jewish people to take them away from God. In today's day, there are 18 million so-called Jews, but only 2 of them are religious. All the rest are atheists. They don't believe in God. They don't believe in nothing. Who did this job? The Zionists did this job. 16 million Jews, they uproot from God. They uproot them from the religion. The Zionists are the greatest enemies for the Jewish people, much more if they will take away our country. The country is only for the 70, 80 years as we're living on this world. But for the world of ever, the 60 million people will uproot away from God. They uproot them, they kill them forever. Not only on this world, they kill them on another world. This is what the Zionists did for the Jewish people. Judaism means connection to God, believe in God, serve God, believe in God, keep the religion. Zionism means don't believe in God, go away from God, don't believe in Him. Judaism and Zionism, God took it away from the Jewish people. Today's day, the land is not ours. The land don't belong for Jews. The same God who gives it for Jews. The same God who took it away from Jews. The same God sent us into exile, beswung us with 3 oaths to stay in exile and not to rebel against the nations, not to go up by force to the Holy Land, not to go up in mass to the Holy Land. He told us to stay in exile patiently, waiting for the redemption of the world, the coming of Messiah, when God will reveal His kingdom on the whole world. We'll come back later about Messiah. I just mentioned Messiah. I want just to point out, Messiah doesn't mean another Netanyahu. Messiah will not be another killer of innocent men, women, and children. No, completely. Messiah will be completely a different concept. We will come back later to this point. However, God commands us to stay in exile and not to rebel against the nations and not to go out of exile by force. This is what Jewish people, what they are believers in God, we are trusting God. A Jew means a believer. A believer is not when it's light. When it's light, you don't have to believe, you can see. A believer means when it looks dark. When God sends us into exile, it is dark. Still, we are not rebelling against the Almighty. We are still loyal to God. We are still trusting God. We are not rebel against Him. This is what Judaism stands for. Zionism from the other side, they don't believe in God. They don't believe in the Torah. They're just waving the flag of the promised land fiercely. Who is Netanyahu to speak about the promise of the land when he don't believe in the Torah? He don't believe in the God who promised the land. For whom? You don't believe in nothing. Netanyahu was here in London for 2 years ago. He going to eat in a non-kosher restaurant just to demonstrate, I don't believe in God. I do whatever I want. Who is him to speak in the name of the Torah, in the name of God? It's so hypocritically to use the Torah, just a few verses, falsely for his own purposes and ignore the whole rest, the whole other parts. However, I come back to the point. Zionism don't believe in God, they don't believe in the promised land. They don't believe in the return to the land. They don't believe in that. They don't believe in nothing. So they say, how long we will stay in exile? There is no God to help us. We have to organize ourselves. If not, we will be lost. So you can understand that Judaism is built up on trusting God. Zionism is built up on don't believe in God, don't trust in God. But we can understand that Judaism and Zionism cannot go together. They are extreme opposites each other. This is, even the Zionists doing the land on a free country, on no one's head. Especially when they're doing that on the head of the Palestinian people, by killing them, by robbing away the land from the Palestinian people. Of course, this doubles the crime 10 times more. In our religion, in the 10 Commandments, is don't kill, don't steal. This is exactly what the Zionists is doing. They rob away the land from the Palestinians. They kill them, they exile the Palestinians. We hear often Netanyahu say on the media, we have the right to defend ourselves. And unfortunately, our government, the government of the United States, repeating him, Israel have the right to defend themselves. But who gives them the right to be there in the first place? It's not your land. How you can rob away someone's house, occupy the house, and then say, I have the right to defend myself? Give back the land for the Palestinian people. It's not yours. They have no right to have that on the first hand. Everybody knows the history, knows that for 100 years ago, the Jewish population in Palestine was less than 10%. And the Zionists bringing up Jewish people from Poland, Russia, Hungary, with money tricks to become a majority. But this doesn't give them the right. It's not their land. We are often the Zionists say, okay, but we have to protect Jews. Jews need to have a safe country, at the end of the day. Everybody have a safe country. Jews are in exile. They have no one to protect them. They need a safe country. We will give you the safe country. We will protect you from anti-Semitism. Now, just open the eyes and look. I will ask you a question. Where is the most dangerous place for a Jew to live today's day? 2025. Where is the most dangerous place? Go from Australia to Argentina, from Alaska to Japan. Where is the most dangerous place in the whole world? You will come to one point, the state of Israel. We live here in this country, Jewish people, no problem. No, we have no problem here. We live in France, we live in Belgium, we live in Vienna, in Austria, we live in New York, in Canada, in the whole world, we have no problem. More than that, we live in all Muslim countries, peacefully, in Morocco, Tunis, Algeria, Turkey. All the Muslim countries, we live peacefully. The only place where Jewish people are in danger, don't speak about Palestinians. The only place where Jewish people are in danger is the state of Israel. I say every time I live here in England for 40 years, nearly. I don't know how an English soldier looks like. I never saw them. We don't see them in the street. I don't know how the uniform is. It's brown, it's green. I believe there's no one here. I saw them in the changing of the guards. It's the only place where I saw the English soldiers. This means a safe country. But in Israel, every child is grown up from 2 years, 3 years. He knows, he's seen every day's life. Tanks, soldiers, weapons. This is safeness. Did Zionism bring any safeness for Jewish people? They only put the Jewish people into danger. Zionism brings only bloodshed after bloodshed. The whole idea of Zionism is one big disaster. They didn't succeed with nothing. And even what they say, we will save Jewish people from anti-Semitism. Just open the eyes. They are only raising anti-Semitism all over the world. When I'm walking here in the street and I hear behind me somebody say, Hitler, Hitler, I know that they watched yesterday a video of Gaza. They're only raising up anti-Semitism in the whole world. They didn't save Jews, and they don't save Jewish people from anti-Semitism. They're doing exactly the opposite. The Zionists say, oh, okay, fine. But, you know, the Muslims are the biggest anti-Semites in the world. The Muslims want to kill all the Jewish people. The Palestinians want to throw all the Jewish people into the sea. I can only say, nothing is further from the truth, from death. Firstly, everybody knows a bit of history. I leave it for my colleague, Rabbi Sofer, he will speak much more than that. Knows that we have a golden life in the Muslim countries. We live for centuries together. I myself am coming from Palestine. I born in Palestine. We gone out of Palestine for 1970, 55 years ago. And not only us, tens of thousands of Jewish families have gone out since 1948. They didn't want to live under the Israeli occupation. Here in London, where I live, there are 100 families, but they came out only in the last 10 years. Just they don't want to live there under the Israeli occupation. And they came out with the whole families, they came out from there. I'm already in Palestine, and today I live here since 1947. I didn't go back, and I will not go back. I want to go back. I'm a Palestinian Jew, but only with a Palestinian passport. Not before that. I will never go back in this so-called state of Israel. I will be proud to go back with my Palestinian passport, and I hope it will come, inshallah. But I'm already a Palestinian from 7 generations. My mother told me, my mother is in the 90s, God should give her a long and healthy life. She remembers we used to babysit each other, the children. She remembers the Palestinian neighbors brings over the children to her house to babysit them, and they bring the children to the Palestinian neighbors. She remembers we used to dance for the weddings each other. I myself know a few Palestinian songs, but my mother learned me what she remembered from the Palestinian weddings. But we used to dance, I didn't remember what I called a debka. I don't know how it's called yet. They used to dance for the I know a few Palestinian songs, but my mother learned me what we used to dance for the Palestinians weddings, and they come to our weddings. She remembered we have a golden life, but really we don't have to go back to the history. Just look in today's day. After 77 years of occupation, 70 years of genocide, still Jewish people living in all Muslim countries peacefully. In Morocco, I myself was in Morocco for a few years ago. I just crossed the border from Spain, Ceuta, there's a border, Ceuta, to cross in Morocco. I came over to Morocco. Muslim people come to me, Rabbi, bless my children. I couldn't believe it. After 70 years of occupation, 70 years of genocide, still the Muslim people coming, Rabbi, bless my children. It comes tears from my eyes. But today is an open world. We don't have to believe. Just take a flight, 200 pounds to Morocco, to Turkey, to look, Iran. Iran is the greatest enemy of Israel. In Iran there is a large Jewish community of 35,000 Jews. They don't know what anti-Semitism is. They never experienced that. They never saw anti-Semitism. My colleagues were in Iran a few times and they told me they find there a brilliant Jewish life. They see their institutes, they see their schools, high schools, synagogues. They see there a Jewish hospital completely funded by the government. In Iran, to get an MP, you need 500,000 about. Jewish people, for the 35,000, they have their own MP in the parliament representing them. There is no anti-Semitism there. Just 4 months ago, under the missiles between Iran and Israel, Iran didn't concentrate the Jews in some camps, like many countries doing that with foreign, what they are in war with them. The Jews live there free. They protected their own Jews. They know they are not Zionists. The Muslim people have no problem with Jewish people at all. The Muslim people don't hate Jewish people. You can see that in the whole Muslim world. Jewish people live there peacefully. They're hating occupiers. It's false to say that Muslims are anti-Semites. Muslims have no problem with Jews at all. I can tell you a nice story of what happened about 2 years ago, a bit less, 23 months. It was 3 months after October 7. We was invited to a conference in Turkey. And we gone there. In the middle of the conference, Ismail Haniya appears on the conference. I believe everybody knows who is that. It's not legal to say. Ismail Haniya is the political leader of Hamas. It was. Unfortunately, it's happened what's happened. He appeared in the conference. We didn't know that he will come. He saw our rabbis 3 months after October 7, 2 years ago, nearly. He saw our rabbis. He told them to come up to the stage. He embraced them. And they say, rabbis like that will be welcome in our future Palestine. We have no problem with rabbis. We have no problem with Jewish people. We have a problem with the occupiers. We have a problem with the people who are killing our women and children. This is our problem, but not with Jewish people. Jewish people like this will be welcome in the future of Palestine. So So this is completely false. The Zionist propaganda, and unfortunately many governments are speaking after them like papageis, that Muslims are anti-Semites, anti-Semites. Just open the eyes, don't believe me. Open the eyes and look in the whole Muslim world. Try to find anti-Semitism. You will not find it. You will find it in other countries much more. I didn't want to mention the names, but you will find it in other countries much more than in any Muslim country all over the world. I will come back to the question of Messiah before I finish my words. Many people asking me, you believe in the Messiah? So what is the difference? Messiah will do the same job as Netanyahu. Messiah will do it now, Messiah will do it in 10 years. What's the difference? To understand what is Messiah, it's nothing but you can Google on the net and ask the AI people. If you want to know what Messiah is, we have to study the Jewish books, the books of the prophets, to see what it means, Messiah. Messiah will not be another Netanyahu. Messiah will not do nothing. Messiah will only a prophet of God. Messiah will not come with physical power at all. In our scriptures, Messiah is described Uni v'roiche v'lachamor. That means a poor man coming on a white donkey. What means that? We don't know. There are no donkeys today. And we don't understand it like many prophecies. We will only understand it when it will happen. When we will see it, we will understand it. However, the description of Messiah is a poor man, not a man with muscles coming, I'm the king, everybody my slave, I will kill everybody. No, a poor man. Messiah will come with spiritual power in our heart, in my heart, in your heart, in the heart of all the people. Tell all the people to serve the same God. And at that time, it will be harmony and peace between all the nations. There will be no killing each other in no fights. We, with the Palestinians, will not be on two sides of the fence. We will be on the same side of the fence. We will serve the same God in harmony and peace. In Psalms, there is many times it's written about the days of Messiah. I give you one example, chapter 97. Hashem mulach tugeinu uretz. When God will reveal His kingdom on the world, everybody will be happy. Everybody will serve them together. There will be no wars. Messiah will turn the heart, all of us, to the same God. We say in our prayers, "V'yeyuse kila magidu echad, la'asa ezretzoinchu b'leiv av shulem." All of us will serve the same God in harmony, in peace. But still, people asking, okay, Muslims have similar belief, the Christians have a similar belief, but in which way they're going to serve God? What are you believing? In the Jewish way. The Muslims believe in the Muslim way. The Christians believe in the Christian way. So again, there's a place how to fight each other. We have to bring out a very important point. The belief is never a reason of fighting and of hating each other. The problem starting when you try to force someone. But the belief is not a problem. I give you a proof. You are a Muslim. Have you ever any problem to sit down by a cup of tea in a coffee shop with a Christian friend and share your belief? You say what you believe a Messiah will come, what will happen. He will say what he believes. You are best friends. You have completely different beliefs. But it's not a reason why to hate each other. Let's see, wait. Everybody will accept what God will do Himself. Let's see, wait. You can see with a Christian friend by a cup of tea, speaking over, sharing the belief. You have no hate each other. Because the belief is not a reason why to hate. It was never the reason. The reason of hate is only the occupation. Only when you come to force other people. But the belief itself, it's not a problem. If you want to accept my belief, accept it. If not, don't accept it. And that's all. And therefore, Jewish people lived in all Muslim countries for centuries, for hundreds of years, believing together. The Muslims know we have our own belief, and they have no problem with that. I'll tell you a nice story with Maimonides, what we spoke about before. He was the person, I'm finishing already, I'm sorry, I didn't want to keep you time, I'm finishing. He was the personal doctor of Sultan Salahuddin. In one time the Sultan asked him, my life is in your hands, you're my personal doctor. How can I trust you? You believe in Messiah. The Messiah will come, Messiah will be the king. I'm the king. So how can I trust you with my life? My mom answered him, my king, the Messiah will come. If you will not be the first one to take the crown from your head and put it on his head willingly, he is not the right Messiah. This is not the Messiah what we're waiting for. We're waiting for a Messiah, but the whole world will recognize him. The whole world will agree willingly with him. If not, this is not the Messiah. This is completely not the right Messiah. So we have to understand the concept of Messiah is not something, some people coming to occupy other people. Some people come to kill other people. No, not that is Messiah. Messiah is living together in harmony and peace, serving the same God together in harmony and peace. And I finish my words with one thing, people asking, what is the solution? It's already 77 years, nearly 77 years of occupation. What is the solution? Firstly, I don't need to have a solution. I'm not a politician. But the truth is truth. The land don't belong for the Zionists. They are occupiers. This is truth. And this occupation should come to an end. It should be rectified. The land should go back for the right owners. This is the Palestinian people. The truth is truth. If I can give a solution, I don't care about if I don't have a solution. It doesn't make wrong for right. The truth is the truth. The land don't belongs for the Israelis. The land belongs for the Palestinians. And we have to give back the land, not we. I'm not a Zionist. I'm not an Israeli. But they have to give back the land for the Palestinians. However, I cannot say a solution from a political point of view. But as a rabbi, a Jewish rabbi, I can only say the words of the Torah. In the Torah it's written, in the reference of that in Numbers 14 verse 41. The Torah is written, a rebellion against the Almighty cannot be succeed. Really, it was a similar situation like today. It was, if you read in the Torah by Numbers 14, you see, at that time God took out the Jewish people from Egypt to bring them to the Holy Land. And God commanded them to stay in the desert for 40 years. I'm sure that many people of you read it and know that. But many people didn't agree with that. And they say, no, we want to go up now. We will take it by force. Prophet Moses told them, why do you rebel against God? It will not succeed. We believe that every word of the Torah is not only for 3,000 years. It is for today, it appeals every day. The words of the Torah is the words of God, but this is forever. A rebellion against God cannot be succeed as long as the state of Israel is a rebellion against the Almighty, who told us to stay in exile, not to go out of exile by force. And it's exactly what the Zion is doing. They're rebelling against God. They will not succeed. In the words of the Torah, is stronger of all the politics what is changing every day 10 times. Even we don't see with our eyes how the state of Israel will come to an end. The state of Israel looks really strong, maybe one of the strongest countries of the world, and they have the support of the USA, of United Kingdom, and blah, blah, blah. But God is stronger from them. In the end, God will win. The state of Israel will come to an end. The Holy Land will go back to the Palestinians, from the river to the sea. We are not believing in a two-state solution at all. As I told you that God forbid us to have even 1 inch of a land. We are in exile. We have no right even to 1 inch of a land. And again, the words of God, this will win at the end. How? We don't know. We hope and pray that it will be on a peaceful way. I know people laughing, say, oh, peaceful way, it's impossible. It will be millions of killings. It shouldn't be. I'll give you an example. The older generation here remembers, for 35 years ago, there was one of the strongest power of the world. It's called the USSR. And people thinking at that time, to bring an end to this power, it will cost millions of lives. It didn't cost even 1 single life. Everybody remember that. And the same thing in South Africa. A bit earlier than that. People thinking it will cost, it's costed lives, but not so much as people thinking. This shows, improves, that if there is a will, there is a way. There can be a peaceful dismantlement. However, we leave for God to run the world. We just praying to God to bring a peaceful and speedful end to this heretic state, to this murder state of Israel. I didn't want to give them other names I mentioned a day earlier, because I didn't want to go here arrested. However, but we pray to God to bring an end to this, and it doesn't mean Jews have to be killed. It doesn't mean Jews have to be expelled. We can continue live there like we live in Morocco, like we live in Iran, under a Palestinian government. Completely a Palestinian government. This is what we're looking for. If we hope, if we pray to God that this will come soon in our days, a free Palestine from the river to the sea, inshallah. Thank you. I will give over the words to my colleague, Rabbi Sofer. His English is much better, and he's Arabic also.
الإسلامية في أنحاء العالم كله، من إندونيسيا المغرب إن شاء الله. أينما كنت، وخصوصا الأمة الفلسطينية العربية العايشين تحت احتلال السعد المجرم والعنصري تبع الكيان الصهيوني مجرمين الحرب. I see that people understand that does not understand that much. I speak English. It's better. Okay. Urdu. I'm not Pakistani yet. I had the merit to hear Mr. Pervez for a few minutes. He spoke very outstanding about the relationship and the foundation about the Jewish-Muslim relations. And then we're going to inspect it very quickly, and we'll see how, if it was justified for so-called Jews, this Zionist, racist, nationalist power that conquered Palestine as a part of the Western powers that established it in order to weaken the Islamic Ummah, to weaken the Palestinian people, to weaken the Arabs. Okay, the Caliph Umar ibn Khattab has put the foundation as Jews, Christians, Zoroastrians, any foreign religion among the Islamic world are welcome, condition they're going to show subservience, loyalty, but paying the jizya. We, the Jews, were very happy to pay the jizya. The jizya was a sign of loyalty and devotion for the Caliphate. The Caliphate Bet Umayyah, which were flourishing for 95 years, and for the Abbasids, that was flourishing for 500 years. This great Caliphate who put the foundation, who took under their custody, under the wings of Islam, the Jewish religion. They have in their tradition to protect, have mercy, compassion, and understanding for the Jews. And that's how Judaism were flourishing among the Islamic states, like I don't know what. Most of our holy books of our biggest rabbis were printed and grew. The rabbis were growing, especially, specifically, by Muslim countries. Even after the decline of the Abbasidi Caliphate, when the Seljuki Caliphate, which are, as everyone knows, were Turkish soldiers that were serving the Abbasids, we had also a great time. By the Mamlukin, that was controlling Palestine and also Egypt, we had also a great time. Mr. Parvez, I don't know where he is now, he spoke about the Jews have a high-ranking jobs by the Muslim countries. You wouldn't believe how deep was that. When the Khalif and Khalifat Bet Umayyah has been replaced by the Abbasidi Caliphate, so one of the descendants, the last descendants of the Caliphate of Bet Umayyah, fled from Iraq the whole way through Egypt, the whole way up to Spain. He created the Caliphate Bet Umayyah in Andalus, Spain. That was the golden era for Jews and Muslims together combined. For 300 years, Abdurrahman I, Abdurrahman II, Al-Hakim, and Abdurrahman III. Who was the Secretary of Defense? Who was the Secretary of State? Foreign Minister? It was Jewish rabbis. You know that Jewish rabbis was running the wars. They were standing in the head of Muslim army that was fighting the Christian armies in Spain. That's a history. That's a fact. We've been welcomed completely. Secretary of Treasuries were always Jews. But the Mamlukim, but the Fatima Caliphate, that was replaced by the Ayyubi Caliphate. The Ayyubi Caliphate was established by Nur ad-Din Zanki, which was the adopter of Al-Nasr Yusuf Salah ad-Din al-Ayyubi, the founder of the Caliphate Ayyub. Who was the secretary of treasury by the Fatimis? He was a Jew. The Muslim world today has been demonized, have been portrayed as vicious, ugly, bad people, and terrorists, which is a total lie. The Islamic Ummah has gave algebra, physics, chemistry, astronomy, anything, so many wisdoms that we have today. The best doctors are using what the doctors Ibn Sina, Ibn Rushd, philosophy. Even we Jewish rabbis in Andalus took many ideas from one of the greatest philosophers in the Arab world. His name was Abu Ahmad Jali Zali. He was one of the greatest philosophers, was many Jewish rabbis mention him in their books. Comes here the Zionist, nationalist, fascist power that came to erase Palestine and come to rewrite the history, to distort the history, to show that we've been always enemies while we have a whole history, mutual history, to live together like brothers. And that's so vicious and evil. Our greatest destruction of the Jewish people was when Palestine was unfortunately took by Western power in 1918. Till that, 500 years of flourishing life, mutual life with Palestinians and Turks were occurred in Palestine. Rabbi Beck has already mentioned that. But the black day that Palestine was unfortunately conquered, the Islamic Caliphate of the Ottoman Empire was crushed, and that was a very sad day for us. Because every time when the Islamic Caliphate gave a fatwa to protect Jews, to allow the Jews freedom of religion, that's combined, protected us from Morocco till Afghanistan. That's where usually the Islamic Caliphate was controlling. Solution, I will go to the end. Solution what for the Middle East, for the Far East? It will be, my opinion is, Islamic Caliphate would give us protection. We'll be happy back to pay the jizya, to live together with you brothers. We're not going to bomb you. We're not interested to kill, to rape, to destroy, to wipe out neighborhoods like was the filthy Zionist, racist regime has done in Gaza and in the West Bank, cutting off olive trees, destroying houses on the heads of children, let them sleep in tents in Mawasi on the beach of Gaza. The rain comes and destroys all the tents. They don't even have waterproof tents. They don't not allow no food, no medicine to Gaza. One of the biggest war crimes in the last 100 years occurring now in front of our eyes in the name of so-called Jews. They have the Zionist colonial power have with Judaism like the elephants have with Judaism anything. They have nothing with Judaism. Real Judaism know how to recognize, thank for the Muslim nation of all the good that they did for us for the last 1,350 years. Even by the end of the unfortunate end of the Caliphate in Andalus 500 years ago, Jews used to go down the whole way down. The Christian conquered Spain slowly. It was called the Reconquest. And slowly, slowly they captured more and more parts from the Muslims. And we Jews retreated with the Muslims together. Because we knew that the Muslim religion with its foundation, believing one God, removing idol worship, believing prophecy, mercy, zakat, morality, which our flourishing is also dependent with them together. In places which there was no morality, no believing God, idol worship, the Jews were vanished, destroyed, disappeared. So we went with the Muslims together, even to Granada. Do you know where is Granada? It's in the southeast Spain. For 300 years, small part of the Caliphate was continued. They held the place for 300 years, till they gave up, unfortunately. Then we've been kicked out. 300,000 Jews been kicked out, expelled from Spain. Where did we go? Again to Morocco. We went to Turkey, Algeria, Libya, Egypt, and yes, Palestine al-Habiba, Mawla al-Watan. Palestine al-Habiba. They opened the door for us. When Khalifa Umar ibn Khattab was recaptured, when we released Palestine, till the time that the Byzantines was controlling it, there was no room for one Jew in Palestine. Umar ibn Khattab took Palestine, invited the Jews. The Crusaders killed all the Muslims, destroyed the Muslim nation in Palestine, and slaughtered all the Muslims. In our books it's written that was rivers of blood came out from the Masjid al-Aqsa at that time when they killed all the Muslims. But they also killed also the Jews. They took all the Jews in Jerusalem, they pushed them to a synagogue, and they burned them alive. They even didn't slaughter them. For 88 years we didn't have any one step in Palestine. Who brought us back? As I said in the beginning, Al-Khalif al-Nasir al-Salah ad-Din al-Ayyubi. And it's continued like that. The Palestinians opened the door for Jews for hundreds of years. Yes. And yet they've been demonized as a terrorist and vicious people in order to justify this vicious genocide that's been conducted against them. There's a million Jews who refuse to recognize this filthy colonial power that called Zionist Israel state. There's a million Jews that want to denounce and condemn and crying out the genocide in the West Bank and in Gaza, and the ethnic cleansing, the ongoing ethnic cleansing. I see on a paper here the Nakba, the catastrophe of 48, which between 1.3 and 1.5 million Palestinians were deported from 731 villages, towns, and cities from all Palestine. It was called Plan D by these three Zionist terrorist gangs that conquered Palestine. Palestinians prepared a military power because they understood that the Zionists would come take Palestine. It was crushed, unfortunately, in the Great Rebellion, Palestinian Rebellion in 1936. But all the military power of the Palestinians was destroyed. In 1948, Zionists had 90,000 terrorist gangs organized with a Russian communist weapon. In front of us, what did they have to the Palestinians? Only 4,000 mujahideen. And even at that time, the Palestinian police officers, when the ships came illegally, before the Nakba, they came illegally, Palestinian police officers took them from the boats, sent them to Palestinians' houses, they gave them bread, they gave them milk, they gave them to eat and to drink, and then they sent them to Jewish settlements. That's what someone told me, a Palestinian young boy told me that his grandfather was a police officer and then he was expelled. Is that the thanks that we have to give to the Palestinians? We have to tell them, thank you good Muslims, thank you good Palestinians for the great history that we shared with you. To conquer the land that not belongs to us. بسبب أخطائنا رب العالمين تعالى طردنا من هذه الأرض المقدسة. Means because of our sins, the land not belong to us anymore. It belongs to the Palestinians. The fight here is not between Jews and Muslims, as the Zionist racist colonial power trying to portray and to describe. It's a lie. It's a fight between the right owners of the land, the Palestinian people, and this colonial power. And they would lose the war. All our rabbis have said, as Rabbi Beck says, they will be defeated, they'll be ousted of the country. And Jews, the real Jews and Muslims will live together. I'm calling for you, good Muslims, to adopt children in Gaza. I, inshallah, would adopt child. I'm contacted a family in Gaza. I will adopt a child with letters, with money, with clothing, to feel them that they're not alone. 2.1 million Palestinians left over. 100,000 were killed by bombs. 100,000 were murdered by sicknesses. No medicines, no tents, no waterproof tents. They live like the worst sort of lives in the world. One of the most dangerous places today in the world is Gaza, full of sicknesses, no clean water, 90%, 300 water wells were completely destroyed. There's no clean water there, there's nothing. Wake up, dear Muslims, join us to adopt. Each one from you will adopt one child, not more than that. But there's a lot of, mashallah, there's 1.8 billion Muslims. One child they have to adopt. Send them letters, packages. They should feel that they're not alone. They're almost fallen, they're almost been completely destroyed. If they'll see that there's people, Jews and Muslims, cooperating together and helping them, they will feel that they're not alone. They will have a hope that Allah Ta'ala sent them good people, Jews and Muslims, to support them. Before Gaza is going to be rebuilt, before Gaza will flourish back again, we have to help them. Smile, food, a call, a text, an email. We are with you. We feel your pain. And what about the West Bank? There's an ethnic cleansing going on right now in the West Bank. Tens of houses on a daily basis were burned. Tens of thousands of olive trees, which is the main source of income by the Palestinians, have been burned, cut, and destroyed. People been hit, old women, old men, and everything is on my name. Shame on you that you're conducting war crimes on the worst thing, on the worst way, and also in my name. I'm proud to be Palestinian. Yes, I'm supporting of Palestine. I was expelled from Palestine because of my pro-Palestinian way. I can't live there, I can't even come back there. But all the Palestinians telling me, inshallah, we're going to free Palestine. We're going to put you on our head, on our shoulders, and we're going to carry you to Palestine. If they're not going to allow me to come back, I'm staying outside. But everyone told me, you're the first one to come to live in our village as a brother. Today, up till today, I walk in the street, people say, oh, Rabbi Sofer, we saw you, we saw you, we heard our view, we love you. Today, a guy, someone called Musa. You have a sister here, lives in Gatwick. I don't know if she's here. Is any woman here listening to us?
Upstairs, yeah, there is.
So one of the women, if she have a brother called Musa, he said to me to send her regards. He was the one who stopped me in the middle of the road. He was with his wife, and he was hugging me and kissing me. And I told him, I'm very busy today. I'm going to Gatwick to speak to our Muslim brothers in Gatwick, talking about the genocide and about free Palestine. He said to me to send the regards. As Rabbi Beck said, credentials, the Muslim doesn't need my recommendations. The history speaks for itself. Demonizing will not help. Muslim people brought peace, mercy to the world. Morality, love to Jews. They allowed the Jews to survive. Without the Muslim nations, would have been completely destroyed. Allah was put in the heart of the Muslim to have mercy on us. And we're saying one big thank you for the great Islamic nation. Thank you for all the Muslims that helped us. I can tell you a story among me. My family lived in Iraq. My father has served in the Iraqi army. He was an Iraqi nationalist. And my father told me, and my mother told me, that the Nazi ambassador of Germany, he had a radio station in Arabic, and he was inciting Iraqi soldiers to make a genocide in Baghdad. So a few hundred Iraqi soldiers, that was the minority from the Iraqi army, went to a rampage to kill Jews. They went from house to house. They came to the house of where my mother lived with 14 children, all family on the second floor. The first floor was the landlord, the owner of this building. He was a Shiite Muslim. He used to take all my children, my wife, my mother's family, and take them to Najaf and Karbala. That's important Shiite cities in Iraq. On his own expense, to take a wagon with a horse. He used to buy them kosher food and take them to take out, because they were very poor. Before the Jewish Pesach, it's a very expensive holiday, they used to have to bring a sheep. More neighbors used to bring dates, potatoes, carrots, tomatoes. Take it, good Jews. It was called zakat. It's known as the Khalif Harun al-Rashid, one of the greatest Khalif among the Abbasidi Khalifat. For 22 years, he used to give 1,000 dirham. It's called dirham, is like a silver coin, very expensive, for charity every day for zakat. Many Jews would line up and receive from him the zakat. His wife, Al-Huziran, the Yemenite woman that married him, one of the most smartest women at the time in the world, also used to give a lot of charity. The wife of Sultan al-Nasr Salah ad-Din al-Ayyubi, her name was Ismat ad-Din Khatun Zanki. She was the wife of Nur ad-Din Zanki. When he died, she got married to Salah ad-Din. She used to help Jews a lot. Yes, we have this history. And now everything upside down. Forget about this history. They push it under the carpet. It's a vicious, it's a lie. I'll finish the story what happened with my parents. So these Iraqi soldiers came to the house and they saw the landlord standing with a sword. And they told him, step aside, we'd like to kill the Jews there. What are you talking about? These Jews are my brothers. On my dead body, you have to kill me first. And then they gave up. This happened by most of the Jews. Every Jew that lived among Muslims were saved. One Muslim friend, Iraqi friend of mine, told me that there was a house of a Muslim friend that have saved 260 Jews. He had a big house, and he told to the Jews, come to my apartment, come to my house. They piled up the whole house, and he locked it up, and he brought them a whole bag of rice, in order to cook for them to have food, because they stayed a few days. How can he keep 220 people without any food? He made sure to bring food, to bring rice, to bring flour, to bake bread. All this beautiful history of mutual cooperation, compassion, mercy, and love has been wiped out. Now is the time to kill you all. Is the time to behave vicious, brutal, and unhuman, in order to describe you as vicious, in order that I should be able to bomb you, starve you, make you feel sick, tortured you in the jail, do anything which I want. Hada khata, akbar khata fi tarikh. The biggest sin in the history. God will never forgive for those people who do that. Distorting the history of 1,350 years. And conducting one of the worst genocide, الحرب الإبادة الجماعية ضد أبناء الشعب الفلسطيني الشقيق والمظلوم. I will leave a time for questions. I will stop here. I don't want to go too far, but in the few words which I spoke, that the state of Israel was called this Zionist entity, was called State of Israel, is illegal, is against the Torah, against the international law. The genocide, ethnic cleansing, killing, destroying, raping, and starving is against the Torah, against the international law. There's at least 1 million Jews that feel compassion, mercy, and are painful. I myself can't sleep at night. And I can tell you, you can believe me. Look at my eyes and tell me that I'm a liar. I can't sleep at night when I hear all these vicious war crimes that have been conducted against such a great people like the Palestinians. The solution is now to save these people, as I said, adopting them, and sending a multinational Muslim peacekeeping force to West Bank, Al-Quds, Jerusalem and Gaza, to stop this vicious Zionist terrorists from conducting ongoing atrocities against the rights of the Palestinian people, the miserable people. And then to bring an end for this Zionist entity, establishment of a Palestinian state from the river to the sea. Palestine will be free. We're going to live together, Jews, Muslims, and Christians, under one Palestinian flag. But as I said, a global solution for peace would be a caliphate, would be a great idea. One caliphate would unite all the Muslims, and we Jews will be protected. We live under your mercy, under your custody. We'll be very happy to learn the Torah, pay the jizya, keep our holy commandments with you together under your protection. Is there anything better than that? That's what this was for many, many years. There's no reason it should not come back. Then together we want to wait to the day that Allah will reveal His kingdom in the world. We're going to all serve together without any racism, without any anti-Semitism, without any killing, stealing, damaging, or anything else. Inshallah bil mustaqbal al-kareem. Wa assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Thank you.
Thank you. Take questions from you.
Last question, then I'll take this around. So, unless you want to ask the questions.
You want to repeat? Take the mic round, yeah? If anybody has any questions, send the mic round so everyone else can hear. Just while I have a question myself. So you spoke about the Orthodox Jews. Most of them they rejected the establishment of the State of Israel, but we also hear that in the West Bank, those that occupy Palestinian homes and take Palestinian lands, they're referred to as Orthodox as well, and sometimes ultra-Orthodox. So how could you clarify the difference for us?
Clarify. They're not considered Orthodox. Zionist settlers, even though they look like Jews, some of them are Arabian, there's a Wolof, they're not considered for this instant Orthodox. Orthodox Jew is what a person who believes that you're not allowed to have a state, you're not allowed to occupy, you're not allowed to kill, you're not allowed to steal, you're not allowed to rape, destroy, and damaging. You call in Orthodox for these settlers, colonial settlers, who are doing everything the whole day. They can break a head of a Palestinian 82 years old, just open her head with a stick. Is that Orthodox? They're savages, they're real animals, they're real racist and fascist and vicious. Orthodox Jews, as people who learn the Torah can come and invite you, even in Al-Quds, you have thousands of Jews who condemn it. the rabbinical court in Jerusalem of the Eida Hareidis, it represents about 100,000 Jews in Jerusalem. They're condemning, and all this they're saying, stop these harassments, stop this fight, stop these atrocities against our Arab neighbors. You bring in danger for our Arab neighbors and for us. We want to live with peace with them. That's a verdict that goes on for the last 80 years. Up till now, 2 months ago, they gave out a letter. Stop the atrocities in the West Bank. Stop the theft, the land thefts in Al-Quds, the stealing of the houses. And stop what was not allowed to Palestinians to come to Al-Aqsa to pray. Palestinians never stop us from going to pray in our synagogues. How can you dare to stop them here with police force, with this Zionist, Nazi police force, stopping them from to pray in Al-Aqsa and Al-Haram al-Sharif? How can you stop them from taking their crops, taking their olives, which is main source of economy of the Palestinian people? They're destroying, they're cutting, burning, destroying thousands of trees on a daily basis. Is that Orthodox Jews? They're so far away from the concept of Orthodox Jews. They don't represent the Orthodox Jews. There's hundreds of thousands of Orthodox Jews that's saying, there's a big awake among even the Orthodox Jews that were not specifically anti-Zionists. We're considered non-Zionists. They understand there's a Holocaust goes in Gaza. There's people from organizations, from Orthodox organizations that write into the world, there's a Holocaust in Gaza. They were arrested. I couldn't believe when I heard that this person, there's an Orthodox Jew. I said, he's not so anti-Zionist, because there's awake. People realize that's not the Jewish way. Settlers, a racist power that comes on a daily basis to beat up, destroy, burning houses, burning cows, cars, trucks. I've heard about a video, terrible video, that these settlers went into a place where all the goats and the sheep grows, and they beat up the sheep and they kill them. Do you know what type of the Torah says about cutting a tree? Anyone who cut a tree, a Jew that cut a tree that have fruits, his children will die. That's written by us. That but we believe in it. And many things like that happen. One time there was a guy that cut off the tree, one of his children died. In our generation, we're not talking about hundreds of years ago. The Torah says, please you should never dare, even in a case of a war, not to cut trees that carry fruits. It's a very big chata, very big symbols. These settlers can destroy 100 trees a day. I'm not jealous in that. I wouldn't be in their place. These settlements will be destroyed, and these settlers, war criminals, have to be shipped to Hague, to the International Court for conducting war crimes, together with all the Zionist army, the Air Force, the government, police force, all these partners of these war crimes, this genocide, these atrocities. And if you see a guy that looks like me and conducting genocide, is everything but Orthodox. It's vicious and racist, and it's not for this instance nothing to do with Orthodox Jews. Please.
I can just add, unfortunately, like the rabbi said, it's the same like Netanyahu. He comes to speak in the name of the Torah, the promised land, falsely, in something like that. I mean, when he don't believe in that, the same thing. The settlers taking verses of the Torah out just for their benefits, and they're using them. I mean, I believe in all the religions. Unfortunately, there is people like that, where they try falsely to use the religion. However, in Israel, you have, unfortunately, some percent, I don't know exactly how many settlers there are, but in the rest of the world, outside the state of Israel, I can say that people looks like me, this type of people, killed with a beard, almost of them are non-Zionist, and the big percentage of them are strongly anti-Zionist. I give you an example in my area where I live, in Stamford Hill. I don't know if anyone here was in Stamford Hill. If you walked in the whole road, we have in Stamford Hill tens of thousands of Jewish people. We have hundreds of institutes, synagogues. In the whole area, you won't see even one single Israeli flag. Palestinian flags, you will see there many of them. but even not one single Israeli flag in the whole area. This is an anti-Zionist area, I tell you more. We have synagogues side by side with mosques. All the minicab drivers, I don't know if they're called here minicab, this is the name, are Muslims, 400 or 500. We're sending our small children 2-3 years to the playgroups, to the schools, with the Muslim drivers. I live here already nearly 40 years. I never had even one single incident, even not one single problem. The Muslim people knows that we are anti-Zionist. When the Muslims want to build up, to expand the mosque, the Jewish councillors help them to get a permit. The same thing with the Jewish synagogues wants to build up more bigger. The Muslim councillors help them. We live a very nice relationship together because they know that we are not Zionist. And this is really very important to make a distinguishment, to understand. When you see people looks like me, I cannot say all of them, but I can say that most of them are non-Zionist, and a large percentage of them are strongly anti-Zionist. I mean, there is a difference. Anti-Zionist means strong anti-Zionist. Non-Zionist means Zionism has nothing to do with him. He has his own life, his business, his education, his studies. Let's say on this way, when the when the state of Israel will come to an end, they will not shed a tear on that. It's not a part of their life at all. People looks like me are almost of them at least non-Zionist. A large percentage are strong anti-Zionist. In Israel itself, unfortunately, the situation is different. However, but still, like the Rabbi mentioned, the Eda Haredis, hundreds of thousands of Jews, they are strongly opposing the state of Israel, and they're boycotting the votes. They don't participate in the votes. They don't take any benefits. I have my cousin, he living there. He didn't stop the benefit like it's called here. How it called here? You never get it. Yes, I'm sorry. He didn't stop it. He get a check every month. He make a big party. The first day of the month, we call it Rosh Chodesh. The first day of the month, he make a big party for the children, his grandchildren, taking out the check, tear it in four, and show these are our enemies. We don't want their money. We tear it back to them. He didn't stop it. He wants the check and bring all the children and grandchildren to stop it. I just bring out there is money, hundreds of thousands Jews that are against the state of Israel.
Is there another question?
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Okay, my question is that if you see the survey, you find that 82% people of Israel, which are obviously mostly Jewish, they are in the favor of genocide. What could have gone so wrong that all these years they have been put the wrong information into their mind that they have become the monsters? Because they've been killing people, and it's not 10%, 15, 20%. It's two surveys. One survey says 82% are in the favor of genocide, and one survey says 76% people are in the favor of genocide. I mean, when they are going on the wrong path, what could have gone wrong? That no one educated them. Obviously, you are, let's say, the Jewish scholars. And I mean, I know there will be more people as well who obviously know the Jewishism and they know all the rules, regulations. So why they didn't work hard to stop Israel, making these monsters, I would say. What could have gone wrong that the people have like such a mind against the genocide now? They are in the favor of genocide.
In order to answer this question is, you are underestimating the powerful propaganda machine of the Zionists. To say that there's 18%, 1/8 that are against the genocide, as you yourself will admit about it, that's a big revelation that in Palestine, under Palestinian occupation, where there's ongoing propaganda to demonize you as a good Muslim, as a monster and terrorist. And the propaganda is day and night, 24/7. In the schools, since they're children, when they grow up as well. So, can you think, yeah, now you've been surprised at what happened after demonizing you? Don't you think that they would think about that the great solution would be to ethnic cleansing you, to kill you, to be explicit and complicit and decisive about genociding or ethnic cleansing? Let's look at the other side. The fact that there is 20% which are anti-genocide, it's a big revelation. How could it be that after 20 years, 80 years of vicious, constant, steady flow stream of propaganda to demonize Muslims and to justify killing, theft, and destroying them as a nation with their culture and religion, still there is 20% which are not complicit with it. That's a big revelation. Because we have to thank to the Rabbinical Council of the Eda Haredis, which have at least a few 100,000 people, followers in Palestine. We have to thank to the Tirakarta, and we have to thank to more anti-Zionist rabbinical powers which are conducting education for their children, for their boys, and when they grow, that the Muslims are not our enemies, Muslims were good with us, and Muslims are not monsters, they're human beings, just like us. At the contrary, they have religions which have a morality, believe in prophecy, remove what you believe in what in the day of judgment, in Yom al-Qiyamah, believe in Jannah and Jahannam. And that's, I think now, the genocide has caused too many people to open their eyes. Even though that you hear it in the survey that 82% are complicit, are encouraging and justifying genocide, but many, many people, I've heard even the Zionist terrorists to open their eyes. Zionist terrorists that were in Gaza had the right to kill anyone who moves. Do you know anyone who moves? Starting from a baby to an old person that goes with a cane. Even among these terrorists are starting to admit of their war crimes. They been shipped to Hague. They're war criminals. Their confession doesn't mean that they had to receive credit card. They have to be judged, and they have to be judged as a worst war criminals. But I'm telling you, the genocide in Palestine has opened the eyes, even though that there is a vicious, ongoing propaganda that so much demonized and so much distort the history, the beautiful history which I so said, and I spoke very shortly. People wake up, non-religious Jews, which we are against them because we don't consider them Jews, but many religious Jews wake up. What's going on over here? How could it be that we that have suffered Holocaust are conducting the same thing for people that were good to us? And that's my job, to open the eyes for thousands of people. I speak in a radio Zionist radio, which my speeches goes to non-Zionist, or not that much Zionist radio. And there's people, about 200,000 people hear it, and people hear, yes, we have conducted genocide. We stole Palestine to people that the land belonged to them. Yes, we destroyed houses on the head of their people. We killed babies. We did atrocities. We conducted what the worst crime was from its own in the last century. So you can see from one side, the Zionist propaganda would teach and educate people to become monsters. No, zero tolerance and zero mercy for babies. But from the other side, you hear the policy of the Torah that full with mercy on the Muslims, like the Eda Haredis, the Tirakarta, and more rabbinical councils that says, hey guys, genocide is against the Torah. Ethnic cleansing is against the Torah. Paying back for good which you did to me. That's one of the biggest sins in the Torah. If Muslims did so many favors for Jews, and now we're paying back them in a genocide? Is that what we say paying them? That's always what I'm saying to Jews. That's what we pay back for this great nation that did so much good for us? We fled naked from many countries, from the Christian countries, from the European countries, and we've been welcomed as brothers. Come, open a business, live and let to live. You're going to be respected, you're going to receive mercy. Is that what we pay back for these people? Is that accepted? Is the Torah will allow you to do such a thing? To distort verses, as Rabbi Beck said, to distort verses that Torah was talking about the annihilation of vicious nations for 3,000 years ago, and to put it on the great Palestinian nation that were good to us, to say that yes, they deserve to be exterminated. Many people open their eyes, Alhamdulillah, and I hope that many more will open their eyes and regret about what atrocities that they conducted, and pay reparation, ta'widat, reparation for the Palestinians, just as was the Germans has paid reparation for Jews after the Second World War. We have to pay reparation for the Palestinians, for all these hundreds of thousands of houses that were destroyed, for children that are what their life been destroyed, traumatized. Many people will remain sick for the rest of their life. They need medical support, psychological support. As I said, we only have step by step one. We have to adopt Palestinian children, not to allow them to vanish. Remember that. It's very easy, it's not so hard to get contact with a Palestinian child. That's very important. Let's not let them to fall. Let's keep them alive, to have the will to live and to flourish, inshallah. I hope I was answering to your question. Thank you.
Just firstly, I'd like to thank you for enlightening us about the history of our civilization, which many Muslims don't know, their own history in terms of how it ruled vast parts of the Muslim world and looked after the affairs of the Muslims and the non-Muslims. And as Joe Biden said about Israel, he said, if Israel didn't exist, we'll create one. So that tells you Israel has got nothing to do with Judaism. It's to do with Western colonial policy. They established the state of Israel to serve their interest. And we see this today because we see they are utilizing this brand of Zionism.
Let me cut you a second. Israel is a new crusade.
Yes.
A new modern crusade, but not by Christians, by Zionist Jews.
That's right.
They're using the Zionist Jews to divide the Arab world.
Yes.
You can see the Abraham Accord that was made to divide and weaken the Muslim countries.
Yes.
Because they don't want to have a Muslim nation united like the Caliphate.
Exactly.
So they want to divide and weaken and enjoy and exploit all the amazing natural resources that each Arab state have. So sorry for cutting you off.
It's okay. And the other thing we have to look at, which nation has carried out genocide after genocide? If you look at America, right, that was a genocide. They cleansed the whole of America. You look at Australia, that was a genocide. They cleansed the whole of Australia.
America only killed 10 million Indians. It's not much.
Yes. they cleanse. So they have a history of capitalism in itself has a history of killing and destroying. And we see this. The only nation which dropped a nuclear bomb is America. Killing indiscriminately. Yeah, we see this. So all that we have seen over the last few centuries is world wars, which was nationalism, which was Europe causing world wars. It's only, you see, there is no protection for mankind under capitalism and under communism. Communism also killed indiscriminately. It's only under Islam, as you mentioned, that the reason we're in this disarray today, not a single Muslim nation moved for Gaza. Why? Because of nationalism. They're all looking after their own national interest.
And not only that, they're cooperating with the Western. They're
exactly
of the West.
Yes.
You have right next to Gaza an Egyptian powerful army that could have stepped in and stopped the genocide.
Yes.
But the head of this state is unfortunately serving America.
Yes.
And he has to turn his back, and he's turning a blind eye to the suffer of 2.2 million Palestinians.
Yeah, and I think that's critical because if we understood our history, that we see historically that, whether you look at Salahuddin Ayyubi, you look at all of our history in terms of it was a state, it was a Khalifa who defended, because the Prophet ﷺ, he said, and Imam al-Junnah, he is a shield, the Khalifa is a shield, from which you fight from behind and from you protect yourselves. So without that shield for the Muslim nations, which includes within the Muslim nations the Jews and the Christians, because when the Crusaders came, the Christians fought against the Crusaders. The Christians from Palestine they fought against Crusaders because they knew that they had security under Islam. They knew they don't have any security under the Western rule that happened during the Crusades.
Well, I have to cut you off. The 88 years of the Christian rule, after they pushed away the Muslims and until the Muslims came back and freed Palestine, they were fighting themselves. There was a lot of small wars. They were killing each other.
Yes.
And there was rivers of blood were shed between the Christians themselves.
Yes.
And that support your evidence that the local Christians didn't want to have anything with the Crusaders because they knew that they were corrupted.
That's
they were
right.
very, very corrupt.
It was very corrupt, yes. And so that's why I think it's a matter of, one, educating the Muslims. And that's why we're doing this exhibition, really to, one, learn about our history, and also know that the solution is under Islam, because every other ism has just caused bloodshed and inequality and oppression. And only under Islam that you saw, this is not just Muslim historians, these are non-Muslim historians who tell you about the justice that they had under Islam, because we are obliged by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we are obliged to carry out the hukum of Allah, which is, we don't discriminate. Any other man-made system will discriminate, will be racist and so on.
I can cut you off for another second, my dear brother Pervez. Yes,
Pervez.
Yes. I just came to tell a story that is written in our holy books about. I said it in one of my videos. Most probably you saw it. Most probably you heard it. A small story about the great Khalif Omar ibn Khattab, the second Khalif. One time he was in the middle of eating his breakfast, and a Jew came to him and said to him, oh great Khalif, my Muslim neighbor makes me with problems. So the great Khalif told him, oh yeah? Wait a second. He took a paper, but he didn't have any paper, and he didn't know what he's going to write down. So he took a stone, and he took something that he wrote on the stone for the honorable judge, the district judge of that area. The Jew complained about injustice that been conducted against him. Please interrogate the Jew and conduct justice for the Jew, a true justice. Omar ibn Khattab. So they gave the stone for a soldier, and he told them to carry the Jew with the soldier to the judge. When the judge saw the stone written by the Khalif Omar ibn Khattab, he conducted the justice for the Jew. Which is mean the local governors and the local courts had underneath the jurisdiction of Khalifat, had to conduct justice, true justice, because the Khalifat was having policy of serving the people, justice for people, and not only necessarily for Muslims. The Khalifat was conducting justice for all. And that's why we, the Jews, benefited and enjoyed the Khalifat, and we cannot forget it. Zionists have a very harsh time to rewrite the history and to hide all this great history that we both talk about. Continue, my dear brother. I just wanted to show you.
I think I'm going to finish with this prayer time. Yeah, we've got 2 minutes to pray, so one last question, if that's okay.
I think the main thing that we want to do is basically have, this maybe be more of a session, maybe afterwards, maybe after you show. If you want to go around, I'm happy to.
So we will wait after you pray.
After prayer, the brother will take everyone around, inshallah, to show them, walk them through everything that you can see, inshallah.
Can you hear me? Hello? My question is, given this... Hello? Okay. Given the situation that we found ourselves in, forgive me if you've already answered this because I've come a bit late, but what is the Orthodox community actually doing, in your numbers, whether it's in Israel or UK or around the world, to, actively work towards a solution for this problem?
Yeah. First of all, I'll tell you about our communities in Palestine. They deliver food packages for villages that were cut off. by the Zionist enemy forces. There's a lot of villages, people that their sheep has no food anymore because their land were stolen by.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم